1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 29 and 30. We're talking about communion. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. And sleep means to decease. May I suggest that we go a little bit deeper or broader than just those two verses of Scripture? You know, what makes a person unworthy to not participate, or participate in damnation? You know, if you're not worthy and you take the Lord's Supper, the communion, the Lord's table, whatever, then you're gonna be taking damnation unto yourself. How far does that go? Well, it just may be weak, it may be sick, it may be deceased. I don't know. I don't know if it gets any worse. But it seems like it would behoove us to wonder what it means to become unworthy. Did you become unworthy a few hours ago, a few days ago, a few weeks ago? Did something happen? Did you do something, or what? What is it? What? What's good? What's bad? What's ugly? You know, what's right and wrong? Is it just a sin? Did you do a sin? This is not discerning the Lord's body. You know, maybe it has to do with that story. You know, we read right before where the people were eating because they were hungry. They just ate the bread, ate the Lord's Supper. You know, out of hunger. They didn't have any respect for the sacrament. So they didn't discern the Lord's body. They didn't discern the bread was the Lord's body. They just ate it. Just ate and drank because they wanted to. But it was set aside. It was the Lord's body in the blood of the Lord. The grape juice or wine or whatever and bread. Is that it? Or can we go deeper and broader? Or should we? I mean, should we just stop there? Should we ask any more questions? What if we go ahead to chapter 12? And we learn that there's no respect for the gifts of the Spirit. People that have a church and fellowship and exercise the gifts of the Spirit, you don't respect that. Well, that's not discerning the Lord's body, because the Lord's body is going to be a body that does the gifts. In the chapter after that, 13, the love chapter, you don't put love first. That's the great commandment, the new commandment. Jesus brought us the commandment to love. Or you want to go back? You don't want to go back. You don't want to go back to head covering. We know that. You do not want to go back a few verses of Scripture to the beginning of chapter 11. You don't want to examine yourself about a head coverer. Are you a head coverer? Or a person that, you know, if you're a male, you're not supposed to cover your head when you prophesy or pray. If you're female, you are supposed to cover your head when you prophesy and pray. You want to think about that? You don't want to think about it? You don't want to consider it? Well, okay. You just live your Christian life, you know. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay? That's about all I can say to you now. Love you. Bye.